maybe I stepped in some dog dookie, on my Air Force One. My Air Force One's
Not the
got some
Air
shit
Force
on them.
Ones, Keith. Not the Air Force
But
Ones,
maybe,
man.
Break, don't punch, don't punch, don't punch. Hold up. Break.
It's been almost a year now. Last time I talked to you was March. You was getting ready for Zoo. Speaking of March, March 21st, 2024. Do you remember that day?
I mean, slightly, yeah.
So on that day, you shared a photo to your social media detailing the bicep injury, and we all saw what happened. We got the reports, but what exactly happened in the sparring that caused that injury?
It's hard to say. When you pop a bicep tendon, it's like it's it's a you in sports you have like pops and you have tears, right? This is when it comes to like ligaments
Right,
and muscle fibers, right? I tore this muscle, I tore a bicep, I tore a muscle, I tore a tendon, right? Then when we say pop, that's just terminology saying for a full detachment, that the tendon that links to the bone
right,
is a complete detachment. So it's not a fracture, a fractional thing like a bone fracture. It's closer to like a bone breaks. We know bone breaks, it snaps in half. So
right.
my tendon popped off the bone. This is a complete detachment, and it happened in the 11th round of sparring. 2 weeks out, it was the Saturday sparring session. 2 weeks out from the Zoo fight in the Zoo camp for the March 30th event, and so it just was there was not much to do. I knew the protocol. You felt something. It doesn't feel good. You got to get an MRI. It's Saturday. There's no offices to
Right.
call. We cannot get an MRI on Saturday. Had to get the MRI Monday. Um, got the results, uh, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. And that's when we knew it was a full detachment and it was a tough call. What do I
You
do?
froze a little
You
bit.
want to make
There
them
you go.
ended? What kind of performance are you going to have? You know, how's your arm going to feel on fight night? Can you
Right,
finesse it? They do those media workouts. You're going to
right.
just shadow box like this and play with them for like, what can I show? What can I give? And when I realized,
Yeah,
like, ultimately, is this is the battle. This is all inner struggle. Ain't nobody having these conversations with me, right? I'm having all these conversations within myself, right? So it's it's hard, but once you get to that conclusion, like, you're not going to be at your best. The fans are not going to be able to see a true Keith Thurman,
right.
and we got to pull out of the fight. Money's important, but there's a lot more things that are important in life. And God willing, you know what it's been like. Unfortunately, for my career, I know what it's like to not fight. I know what it's like to be injured, and I know what it's like to come back. And so, just being a man of faith, and believing in self, and in a very hard, troubling time with a lot of negativity falling upon my shoulders, just trying to see that white light and staying as positive as I can, believing in myself, believing in my comeback, believing that I had a great doctor in California that could do the job, and that we be back. And I have one quote in boxing that's personal, that not a lot of people understand it, but it's gonna make a lot more sense come March 12th. Every day of my life is one day closer to my next fight.
Hmm.
And it's really hard for people to understand with all my inactivity. But that's the type of faith that I hold in my heart. I've never announced retirement, not thinking about retirement. Every day of my life is one day closer to my next fight. And here we are sitting, um, you know, 1 month out.
That's
So
right.
it is what it
Hey,
is, man.
Keith, with an injury like that, it's pretty serious. There's a lot of rehab involved. How do you keep from spiraling and just going to a dark place? Because that injury just sits you down for a while, and a lot of people they do go, to that dark place. They maybe lose some motivation, some discipline. But how did you keep from going to that dark place with the injury so severe like that?
I mean, for me, 2024 was a very spiritual year. I had to rely on my meditation and my breath work to just kind of like just be in the present moment, which wasn't a beautiful place to be. But, what I've been sharing with people was a week after my surgery, the fight already happened. Tim Zoo already lost to Fundora, right? My
Right.
replacement. The show's over. Vegas is over. The hype's over. I'm sitting on the sidelines.
Right.
I got a cast on, and I'm in LA on a beautiful beachside, Playa del Rey. I nicknamed it Playa del Rey, though I'm married. If you ain't married, that's a nice spot to be, Playa del Rey. But
Okay.
it's a nice spot anyways. With the fam, we had a park a block away. I could walk my daughter to and let her play. And there was this little, I'm not even gonna call it a lake. I don't even know what it's like. There's some water over there, and this water like just catches, and it ends up looking like a lake, but it's like a reserve for some of the water that's out there and to catch some extra rainwater or whatnot. And so I went out there every morning to meditate. And it's easy, like you said, to be in that dark place, but there's something about the blue sky, the green grass, the beautiful water, the trees.
Yep.
It was March, and March just passed, so now it's April,
Nature is
right?
the first therapy. That's the first
You
therapy.
know,
Yeah.
exactly. Mother Nature. On one side of the
Right.
crib, the Airbnb, the view from the crib was all beach. It was all beach. I saw
Oh, that's nice.
sunsets every day. You know,
Nice.
so I was very fortunate to surround myself with beauty.
Right.
And I said, look at this scenario that is not good, but look at this scenario which is so good, where you're surrounded by beauty. How are you going to allow yourself to feel down and out when you're surrounded by so much beautiful nature?
Right.
And another thing was the support that came into my life at that time. My wife's family from Nepal flew in to the
Wow.
States, and they spent 6 months with me, with us as a family. Helped
Man.
my wife a lot. She does a lot, just as a mother with the two children. And so she got a little bit of a break because none of her family live in
Yeah.
the US. So she finally got her family to be with her. And I got that experience of in-laws. And we
Mhm.
were all together because I can't pick up my own children after the surgery, you
Wow.
know?
Right.
So, they trying to come up to me, but
That's a
instead of
blessing, man.
me, grandfather's picking them up, grandma's picking them up and showing them love and attention.
Yeah.
And so not only am I on the sidelines in boxing, but I can't pick up my own daughters, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just every day there was just the beautiful sky, the beautiful beaches, the beautiful trees and the grass and the birds, and the sun. And I just remember just thinking to myself, man, really, I can't. I got this other quote of mine that the world is spinning, that the sun is shining, and everything is in perfect orbit on a
Mm,
universal scale, right? There's so much synergy and mathematical perfection
mm.
that is happening. Summer, winter, autumn, spring, they show up on time. You might be late to work, but the seasons show up on time.
Right.
Everything is happening so perfect for you to find yourself at about what 4:30, 5 o'clock stuck in traffic and saying, man, I'm having a bad day. Before you're having a bad day, everything has to be perfectly aligned. And so being in that beautiful setting, it helped remind me of this quote of mine that before you have a bad day, everything has to be perfectly aligned, you
Mm.
know? And I don't know, man, just a lot of positivity, the power of positivity. Like you got a choice, you got free will. You wanna bitch about all your problems,
That's a choice.
or you wanna use the choice of saying this and this. are bad. Maybe I stepped in some dog dookie, on my Air Force One. My Air Force Ones
Not
got
the
some
Air
shit
Force
on them.
Ones, Keith.
And
Not the Air Force
but
Ones, man.
maybe they got some shit on them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're
Right.
gonna just focus on that.
Yeah.
You're gonna go find the nearest hose and wash it off, and like at
Keep
the
it
end of the
moving.
day, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. And whatever little good thing you have in life, just hold
Mm,
on to that, man. A lot of people aren't really ready for a lot of daily meditation. And so what I prescribe to them is gratitude practice.
mhm.
Find that one thing that you're grateful for in life. And for me, during my surgery, it was family and the beauty I was surrounded with. And I was able to make a few plays to keep finances okay and everything when I suffered another year of net zero.
That's right.
But at the end of the day, man, God willing, we still here. We blessed. We getting back in action,
There
and
you
it
go.
just shows you, man, that like whatever you going through it. Just know that there's something else waiting for you. There's greater things waiting for you in life.